So here we are, and we encompass this area here in Kern, Fresno, Madera, Kings, Tulare, parts of Inyo counties. We've divvied up the area into 6 areas right now, and so there's a senior that manages each of these, and you can see again from, keep standing in front of you over there, I'm sorry. You can see again when I talked about the aquifer exemptions that the geology and the reservoir fluids change a lot. Because we have a lot of diatomite on the west side, as you know. It's clastics on the east side, the Kern River fan over here, fresh waters, more saline waters. Different kinds of problems, different depths of wells, different kinds of lithologies, which present interesting conversations with operators for various kinds of operations. So a lot of diversity, all the way up to the fields to the north in the Coalinga area, which is about as north as we get. So organizationally here, bunch of these folks are in the room today. So Clara, you can't miss Clara, she's back there. She's the producer of this operation today. So Don Nelson's here. Don, raise your hand. There's Don. So Don's a supervising oil and gas engineer, and he's charged with managing really all the operational areas in the district. So I know Janelle's here. There's Janelle. Is Chris here? Chris didn't come today. Cameron's here. Where's Cameron? There's Cameron in the back. Woods is not here, and Ernon's here. You met Ernon before. So this is the kind of the leadership team. Is the way we operate is really as a community for consensus to make decisions, and this is the key part of it. On the other side of it, there's kind of an oversight and technology area, and Mike Toland is here. Where's Mike? There he is. So Mike's in charge of facilities and environment. So it's a big part of our operation is making sure that tanks and pipelines, et cetera, are coherent and don't have an impact, and when there are impacts that we need to get involved. So Mike runs that group. This says Tim Boardman. I should have said vacant. So Tim has recently retired. So he was running the Orphan and Idle Well team. So this is one of the positions we're recruiting for. And we have a couple of positions in here which are senior oil and gas reservoir engineers. There's a supervisor here and a senior specialist position for this really kind of a high-tech group to do these complex analyses as an internal services group for the rest of the organization to take care of some of the heavy lifting on the technology side. Amanda Parks is sitting over there, and you will meet her in just a little bit when we talk about HR issues, along with Shauna Sexton, who's on the phone. And so Amanda is in charge of kind of the support organizations, both analog and digital, which are really the backbone of how you get things done. I mean, those of you who've worked in big companies know that the support organizations are really super important in making sure that the work process flows smoothly, that information is managed correctly. And Amanda's got a very, very big chore managing, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of pieces of paper. And now increasingly with complex databases and other kinds of storage systems that are so crucial to our success, especially moving forward to the digital enterprise. So Kern County production, so here we are, right? So we're like the second biggest in the nation in terms of counties. Third, according to this chart. But you can see that this one's actually offshore, so let's not count that. So if you go up to Beachy Point, Alaska, here's Kern in terms of daily oil production. So pretty substantial. This is just Kern County, but you saw the long list of other counties that we work with. So it's pretty substantial amount of production coming out of this little sleepy town here. And again, we're charged with making sure that it's all done appropriately. And because it's it may seem like a desolate desert, but you got these guys running around, and so where do they live? Well, they live right in the middle of these oil fields. So how do you manage a high-density industrial enterprise like this, which is also in between all these wells, is actually a very important habitat for a number of endangered species. So it creates an interesting environment for us as regulators to work with operators to, again, fulfill both of our charters, which is to make sure that they can get the oil out of the ground, but also do so that the kit foxes can also have free reign to go eat the mice and things that they like to do. And while we work with, we manage infrastructure, we manage wells, we work with people. And this chart here is interesting. It's a chart of the number of wells. Each one of these dots, by the way, is an operator that we manage. or interact with. And this axis is the number of wells that operator has, and this axis is the average barrels per day per well that that operator has. And it's interesting, about 70% of the operators we work with sit in this quadrant over here where they have fewer than 100 wells that are producing 5 barrels or less per day. So a lot of small operators and a lot of small operations, and whether you're CRC or you're Joe's Oil Company or Jane's Oil Company, our role is to ensure that you get a fair shake, that you come in, we talk with you, and make sure that you have all the information you need, that we have an objective conversation about your operations and fulfill the 2 basic charters that we have. So while this is 70% of the operators, it's also just 7% of the wells. But that doesn't mean anything other than we have a lot of people to talk to, and again, we work with people and manage wells. So one of the things that we figured out we had to do, as soon as I keep telling Sacramento there really only is one office to worry about, and that's here in Bakersfield. And Pat keeps telling him, no, there's another one over on the coast. And because I think it's so important here, we keep telling them we should have infinite resources, right? Give us everybody in the world, and we'll get our job done. Well, that's of course not feasible. So we've brought on some organizational strategies and models, and one of them is called an adaptive organization. So it's all about people, collaboration, leadership, structure, and technology, but emphasizing how we work. And see the principles we're adopting in the Inland District. So it's about energy and drive, passion for excellence. Really, this one here is so important. Silos are so destructive. So it's a team environment to where we can work together and encourage managed risk. Fast, fail, and adapt is one of our mantras. Collaborative workforce, and leveraging technology as aggressively as we possibly can to get everything that we can get done. So it creates a lot of excitement and learning opportunities for people. So what we're trying to do is anticipate the next challenges. So this little video here is kind of an analog to how we think we work, right? So this is called a murmuration. And you've probably seen these things out in the field. These flocks of starlings, sometimes tens of thousands of them together, all moving as a unit, but they're reacting to some external environment, modifying them, never crashing into each other, and always kind of moving together. And sometimes in these pictures you'll see a very large bird like there. That's actually a peregrine falcon trying to pick one of them off. So the whole population of 10,000 birds is reacting to this external force. And eventually they all come together toward a common goal, which is where they're going to roost for the night. So our organization is models after this, to where we move together, we adapt to the pressures that come to us from regulators, from operators, from new legislation, from things that happen, to modify how we work and how we work together, still keeping focus on the final goal, leveraging each other and collaborating as best we can. And again, I talked about this fast, fail, and adapt model, which is really fundamental to how we work, especially around innovation, and getting to ready for rather than reacting to as a work model, and understanding that we're always going to be changing, and changing is our new normal. So things we're doing around this is resource and project management. So we're getting into this discipline, and those of you who work in industry, so you've been doing this for a long time. Well, state's not. So this is new to what we're doing about how do we manage our resources, our people, our timelines, our milestones, and how we bring support people into bear to make sure that we can execute our projects as quickly as possible at the highest quality. We're doing process mapping to understand how do we turn this into as much of an assembly line as we can, and inserting our expertise and experts where we need to, so we can get consistent quality in each of these steps. And then really looking at in the implementation stage, this is kind of a Deming model of continuous improvement. Each do the plan, do, check, act. I know all of you have probably seen this, and really trying to reset the standard at each time we go through this cycle and improve how we work. The reservoir evaluation team is important. I already showed you this chart, but what we're building is an internal services group that's going to be a series of specialists in a variety of types of technologies. Now here's a long list of things that we're looking for. The team is not going to be that big. So what we'll be doing is taking a look at people who have interest in joining us in that group, finding which of these capabilities are in that population, and seeing how we can start to populate this. So as Ernan talked about, if you have interest in all these things, especially analytics, we're looking to try to build this group here in the next number of months to have this as kind of senior scientist, internal services type of an application.